If your brand belongs in the heart of the yachting world, this is where it happens. Yachting International Radio reaches over 1 million yachting professionals and enthusiasts every month, with 77 million impressions, 220,000 social followers, and 74,000 podcast subscribers. Our hosts are insiders, crew, captains, CEOs, trusted voices shaping the industry. This is targeted, high-impact advertising in a luxury niche. Visit yachtinginternationalradio.com/advertise. Your audience is already listening.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Antonio.
Charl, good morning.
Morning. Thank you for having us. Firstly, shout out to 365 Yachts, to Yacht Crew Center and Yachting International Radio, and this beautiful Wave 60 catamaran captained by Captain Kuba. Thanks for having us, and we look forward to today's conversation.
Very excited to sit down with you here today, Charl. It's a long time coming. I think we needed to reconvene and talk about how we've been doing, no?
That's it. So, for some context, Antonio and I worked together for 5 years on Motor Yacht Curfew. He was my captain. We had a phenomenal time sailing all around the world, doing really cool stuff, meeting super cool people. We had a big network of crew over many years, and recently both of us transitioned out of yachting as crew and into the yachting landscape as land-based people. So today we're going to take a different approach and talk about the challenges in the transition.
Challenges of life after yachting.
That's the title right there. So firstly, how's it been?
It's been great. And obviously, you and I have been in contact throughout this whole transition for both of us. Big life changes. You got married. And, I moved countries, enter a very hard market. But overall, I think the goal here was to just keep being successful and growing. You never stop growing and just kill it.
Yeah, that's important. You especially stepped into a tricky industry to get going initially. So how are you finding that, the brokerage realm?
Look, as you know me well enough to know that for me, it's always I look at the most difficult challenge possible and I aim for that. And then if I hit somewhere in the middle, then we're good. The thing is just keeping going. For those who don't know, I became a broker with FGI Yacht Group. I represent the Mexico City office. So I moved to a city with no ocean to sell boats. So believe it or not, it's a huge untapped market, and we are slowly but surely making a dent in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been great. It's been great. I love this side of the job. I think there's a misconception with brokers, although they're going to laugh at me and tell me I'm an asshole, but this industry is a big sphere where everybody has a role to play in it. And when you step out of crew, you realize how big and expansive that sphere is, and how brokers, brokerage houses, service providers, marinas, crew agents, etc., everyone has a role to play to keep this going and to keep people buying boats and people enjoying their boats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's good. It's you always used to use the analogy on board of a pie.
The pie.
And all of us have a slice. And the same goes to the industry as a broader pie.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. I think sometimes crew have a misconception about, the other guys do nothing, we do everything. It takes everyone's participation to make this work.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we are serving ultra high net worth individuals, and they have high standards, and you need a lot of team players to uphold those standards.
Absolutely. And you don't realize the longevity of these relationships. And that was a big wake-up call for me. And, as a yacht owner, you buy a boat, you're introduced to your crew, and you form the relationship from day zero. Okay, some captains jump from yacht to yacht with owners, but these broker-client relationships span out years and years and years. And just because you're the new kid on the block and you met this guy once, doesn't mean he's going to drop his existing relationships to come with you, So you have to just wake up every day and be the best version of yourself and really try and be the better person. That's really the secret to it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So I used to work with this. He was my bosun a long time ago. And he always said it. Phil is his name. If you see this, Phil, it's all in an honest day's work. Simple as that,
Yeah.
you know?
But I like that analogy a lot. So I obviously pivoted into more of a different sphere. So helping yacht crew take advantage of the financial opportunities we get given as yachties with high income and low expenses. And it's a really nice segue because both of us are kind of feeling the pinch of life after yachting. So to get the point across to the listeners, we're going to do a little bit of an exercise here. What are some of the realest moments since you've left a yacht when it comes to the financial burden of not getting everything for free?
Number one, payroll. Not getting paid every month. So painful.
Yeah.
For me personally, is the sheer amount capital I have to spend to make a deal happen. You know, and as crew, we've always, brokers do nothing. You don't realize how much money I have to spend, brokers have to spend to get a deal done, and how little they make on the other side of a deal. You know, this month I've spent $20,000 in flights and I haven't closed a single deal.
Yet.
But this is my new analogy, is hooks. You're out fishing, putting hooks everywhere.
Yeah.
Some big, some small. You get some great days fishing and you get some terrible days fishing. You know, you go for a month without a single fish and suddenly it's just like fish galore.
Oh, no.
But you got to keep setting hooks.
Yeah.
Because if you're not setting hooks, then further down the line, there's going to be even less fish, you know? And it's just, you got to go out, you got to go to the events, you got to go meet clients. And a lot of clients in my side of the business are not in the boating scene, you know? So that means I got to figure out what the events are
to find
that these people are going to. Car shows, fashion shows, and I got to be there present. I've got to be seen. They got to know who I am, blah, blah, blah. So it's something I've never done before. I've never been in sales. So it's a challenge. I'm learning a lot, and that's keeping me engaged. They're learning the nuances of this side of the business, which is, it's all about the human touch in a very sort of raw way.
Yeah. Well, you had a very nice answer. Mine is simple. Once you step on land, you realize how fucking expensive cheese is.
Cheese is really expensive.
And you have to pay rent, and you have to pay tax. Certain nationalities get the tax exemptions as yacht crew. People don't really think about that. So if you're a young yachty listening to this, I cannot emphasize enough that you need to stack away assets, put away those acorns for the winter, because when the winter comes, it's cold and it sucks.
It sucks. But look, my mentor in the brokerage world told me, 2 years. You're going to have 2 very cold, hard years. And after that, you won't know what to do with so much work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on 1.5 years. The first year, I didn't make a penny. I made $0. I spent a fuck ton of money because I wanted to make sure I'm going to all the boat shows all around the world, visiting shipyards and getting around. You know, I don't want to start selling, you know, I can't say names, but small boats. I want to start where my experience puts me, which is at the top end of the industry. And for that, you need to go to these places, you know. You need to go to the Monaco show, you need to go to Cannes show, you need to go to all the German shipyards at least once a year. Dutch shipyards, Turkish shipyards, go to Metz, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Palm Beach, blah, blah, blah. So, expense. But now, on 6 months into my second year, starting to make sales, starting to get phone calls, starting to get an income flow going. And it feels nice. It's like, wow, I worked really hard for this.
To get there.
And am I making what I was making when I was at the top of my career path as a captain? No, of course not. Nowhere near.
Yeah.
But it's good honest work, you know, and it's a 10, 15-year plan for me, the brokerage. And I'm starting to figure out, I think, time allocation. What do you think? Like, that's a hard one because you used to 12, 14 hours a day, every day,
you're engaged. There's nowhere else you are allowed to be.
Yeah.
Where now you suddenly get dropped into a world where every single morning you have to wake up and be like, what is my schedule like today? And what am I going to achieve today? And if there's no pressure timers like on board, you have to go pick up the guest from the beach because they have a meeting in a few minutes. Now I'm like, I want to finish this task, but like technically I can go for a swim, or technically I can go for a walk or meet a buddy for a beer, whatever it may be. So that is in some sense more of a significant challenge than just the financial, because we used to be so stimulated all the time.
Yeah, and we can both agree that it's okay to slow it down.
Yeah.
As guilty as it feels, you don't have to work 14 hours a day. I want to work 14 hours a day, and I can't fill my 14-hour day right now. So there's this divide between, hey, today I'm done and I'm going to go to the park with my dog and do nothing, drink coffee and watch the world go by.
Yeah.
Or today I'm going to work till 1 o'clock in the morning on one of the various projects that are going. So I think it does open this realm of possibility of, hey, what of these 20 million projects that come through my head every day am I going to focus on and try and build to get it to a place where it can make me an income?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really important. It's funny because as crew, we always complain about we don't have any control over our time. We can never make holiday plans because we're at the whim of some other person's vacation. But when the day comes where we actually have control of our time, we don't know what to do with it. So humans are very bad at the grass is greener on the other side syndrome. And sometimes you and I always preach this to the crew, stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Like I fondly think back of all the beach beach backups we had to do at the end of the day. You're 16 hours in, but you are sitting on a gorgeous beach in the Bahamas, looking at the most beautiful pink turquoise sunset. And now we don't have that because we have to make money on a computer.
Yeah. How many beach setups do you think we've done?
At least in our 5-year span, at the going rate of our season, 450 to 500.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. That's 450, 500 sunsets that we sat and smelled the roses.
Yeah.
And it hurts. It really, I miss it a lot. I don't miss a lot of things of this industry, but I do miss being at sea. It's so simple. You wake up, you set up, you deal with guests, you pack up, you go to bed, you deal with weather, which is the unknown, you deal with boat problems, which is the unknown. But overall, it's a very straightforward life, and the problems have very straightforward solutions.
So mostly.
And that's been a bit of a wake-up call as well for me in the normal life, land life. A lot of these problems don't have simple solutions. They have quite complex and out-of-your-hand solutions that you can't control what you can't control.
Yeah.
And that's taken some getting used to. It's like, why can't I just go to the toolbox, grab a tool and fix it, or order a part and get it?
Yeah, you're right. That reminded me, you say sometimes it's simple solutions, but I just flashed back to December 2021.
Oh, God.
So we were awaiting our boss, who was already in the sky, about to land in the Bahamas.
The plane was 10 minutes out. And first time he's got on his boat, basically.
And we noticed that the black water tanks weren't emptying. There was a big clog in the pipes. And I was fresh member to his crew fleet, and I took the hit. And I climbed waist deep into a tank full of human feces.
So what happened is the old crew had been emptying oil into the sink, into the galley for 3 years before we got the boat. And grease coagulates into these horrible tennis-sized balls. And this tank was full of grease balls about the size of a tennis ball. And I joined you shortly after in there, and we did some serious bonding in that tank, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. But at the end of the day, we got it out, and it was a very hard lesson in the things you sometimes got to do and the way you got to think on your feet to solve certain problems. Not the fond memory, but a precious memory between us nonetheless.
Sure. Because there was an issue that presented itself, and I think one thing we did really well is not giving up.
Yeah.
Oh God, I was close many times in my career in giving up.
So you are.
And you've pulled me out of that hole a bunch of times where, no, we got to finish this, and vice versa, you know? So a lot of the times you have to deliver. There's no ifs or buts. Yeah. And I walk away into my land life with that lesson. Just not giving up. You got to keep charging. You got to keep going. It gets ugly. It gets really ugly sometimes. You got to keep going. And you got to, the guests are coming, and you got to deliver, and you got to smile, and you got to do it with a pretty face. And that's it,
Yeah.
And when you tear it all down to that simplicity, it's really quite, you're like a dumb bull. You just charge,
Tunnel vision. Yeah.
Tunnel vision.
I want to close us out by going to the lighter side again of one of my favorite pieces you ever wrote, which was How to Go Broke Yachting Edition. So this is pivoting back to yacht crew and how they frequently fall in what I call lifestyle creep trap. And because we are constantly surrounded by high net worth individuals making money with loads of disposable income, you frequently fall in the trap of just buying whatever you want and not really setting yourself up for the future. Now, Antonio really subscribed to this idea, and he wrote a piece for my newsletter called How to Go Broke Yachting Edition. And there are 3 yachting personalities that we dissect. And I'm going to leave it over to him, but number 1 is the one that I see the most within the industry, and that is the hobbyist extraordinaire.
The hobbyist. And I'm going crazy over this because I've been that person my whole life where, I look at a video of someone doing something and I'm like, well, I want to master that, whatever it is. Guess what it is right now?
Something weird like building model trains, probably.
Model boats.
I was close. I know him well.
Model boats. Oh, did I buy the $100 version of, a foot long ship? No, I got the 2 meter, $3,000 model, and where it's sitting in my table in a million pieces. But look, you have to have something to keep you engaged outside of your job. It's very important. These hobbies get out of hand really quickly, We all have the friend with a Land Cruiser sitting in South Africa or England that's been sitting in his mom's garage for 10 years, rotting away. For me, it was boats a long time. I used to buy little sailboats and little center consoles and spend a fortune fixing them because I was going to sell them for more. Some of them were great, some of them weren't. Kiteboarding, surfing, bicycle. Oh God, bicycles. My best friend, Matty, he came home with a $30,000 bicycle one day. I'm like, what are you doing? You're insane. Yeah. So hobbies are important, and keeping your mind engaged in something else is important. But every extra dollar you spend on those hobbies right now is an extra dollar you're going to need when you eventually get tired of this in the crew side. Because you will get tired, you will burn out. It's a highly demanding industry, and people get bored and want to do other things, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You can always come back to yachting, and especially crewing. If you've proven yourself as a reliable, solid crew member, captains will always welcome you back with open arms.
Yeah.
But obviously, as we both know, and we've made a sort of pact within each other, that, hey, we've taken this jump, that's it, we're done.
We're out.
Because the golden handcuffs are a real thing,
yes.
And they are very strong.
And once you unlock them, like, you should not go back. You should be impeccable with your word and say no.
Yeah.
Our second type. This is my personal favorite to laugh at, and no judgment because I have lots of friends that do it, is the playboy. So these are my people, my brothers in Christ from South Africa. You are all guilty of this. We go from our small little towns in South Africa and get dropped into places like Fort Lauderdale, Monaco, Miami. You're 19 years old. Suddenly you're making $3,000 to $4,000 a month disposable income. What do? Bottle service, rent Lambos on South Beach, all the shit you should not be doing. And look, YOLO, I'm all for doing certain things. You know, if you stack some aside for the future.
Well, it's just, don't go down the luxury trap, whether you're in yachting or in something else. What was his name?
I can't say names, but yes. Yes.
This kid, fresh off the boat from South Africa, shows up in Fort Lauderdale. A week later, it's like Balenciaga, Gucci, Rolex. Suddenly, you know, Instagram posting stories of him renting Lamborghinis, driving around South Beach. The math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
Like, you're spending all your income on things that bring you short-term joy. And you will look back at that. You might never grow out of it, you know, might never. But you will look back at that, because I've been there. And you will regret it. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
And there'll be some nights you'll remember fondly, sure.
Of course.
And there's nothing wrong with letting loose every now and again. But, like, put a bit aside for the future every time, you know, and you don't have a pension right now. And this is something I really learned from you, Charl. Like, you've instilled this behavior in me, which is be responsible with your future so you can retire comfortably, you know? And right now, I know that worst thing that could happen is I retire and I can make a bit of money and I can live comfortably somewhere for the rest of my days.
Yeah.
So that the sooner you start that, the better off you'll be. Your crew. You right now, broker. You know why they call him broker? Because they're broker than anyone else. Like, so you'll see these brokers like looking $1 million, but you don't know their struggles.
Yeah.
You don't know the struggles of the people you see walking down the docks with looking $1 million. You don't see the struggles of the friends of the owner. Like, and I'm a big sailor. And in yacht racing, there's this thing where there's only one rich person on the boat. The rest of us are you know, we're crew. We're there to work and we're there to make sure that he can keep enjoying it. So he can keep the race program going and we can all keep, you know, enjoying the spoils of his hard work.
Yeah.
So don't fall down the luxury trap. Just don't.
Yeah, that's important. And I think that's a good way to close out. It's main message being, it doesn't need to be a zero-sum game. You can do both. You can enjoy your life. One of my favorite concepts in personal finance and investing is spend extravagantly on the things you care about, but cut mercilessly on the things you don't, because that means you're actually getting the most value out of the things that bring you joy. And you're not just keeping up with the Joneses with the other income you have.
Yeah, and look, it's enjoy the crewing side of things. And I was guilty of always trying to find something to get me away from the boat, you know, when I lived on board in my younger years. And whatever that was is like, but then I really enjoyed the sort of family atmosphere and the community of the boat. And do things that encourage that. Like, you know, golfing is a good example, or like going out and doing things together, like the hikes and things like that. Those are the things that, looking back in my 20 years in yachting, I remember the most. Like and I really like, there's some nights where I'm lying in bed and I remember those like, remember when we were
crew night. Yeah.
And there's one for me, it's in Panama at BB's Sunday dancing salsa. Like, that's one of my fondest memories.
Yeah.
It was at the end of a really
rough patch. Yeah.
And it was $100 each for a whole day, you know, But anyway, thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll see you at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's been a good catch up. And once again, thanks to 365 Yachts, to Yacht Crew Center, to Yachting International Radio, to Captain Kuba and the beautiful Wave 60 we're sitting on. Thanks to the sound team. And everyone.